Do you ever just get the feeling that everything is fake? Everything is a fraud. Every police report, every news story, every TikTok, everything is just a scam in today's society. How is it that it's so easy to communicate and to find information, and yet it's so hard to communicate and to find information? I just get so tired of it, and I see them pitting factions one against another. This here, I've taught the Constitution for years. And there's a whole category on my channel about the US Constitution. I talk pretty frequently about the Constitution of Mexico. Now, constitutions don't give you rights. Rights are inherent. They're human rights. But most of what are considered civil societies have a constitution that at least the idea of which is to put some sort of a limit on government, a reminder, an alarm bell of, hey, these are what our rights are, and to codify those rights. But it doesn't give you the rights. Rights like not to be searched without a warrant, like in the Fourth Amendment. Rights to trial and due process throughout the Constitution. Rights to religion and speech and protest, like in the First Amendment. So when I'm watching this thing yesterday of this Trump protester, Motorcade, right? Trump's leaving the courthouse with their dog and pony show. And the Secret Service is there. And this guy runs out with a sign, right? And they charge in like these fat dudes charging in like they're really saving the day. And they hustle this guy off. Look at him dancing around like, oh, we're really heroes, pointing fingers, yelling at people. Now, I'm not positive, but I think the guys actually running out here are local or state police, but they all think they're Secret Service. They're all trying to be heroes today. And this, in my experience, is how I've seen all these federal agents act, all these police security, video I've seen in the Secret Service, always the same a-holes. Why is that? They're always in movies and like heroes. And in real life, they're always like a-holes, like strutting around like this, like they're the most important thing in the world. I'm like, you're a security guard. That's all you are. Everywhere you go, where security guards have it, police have it, but especially these elite a-holes like the Secret Service, they run around and it's like, oh, well, we have authority over everything. No, you don't. If somebody's threatening to do actual harm to the person you protect, and you have the same right to defend that person, just like I do, just like any security guard does. And this here, and this is what we're so far beyond this that people don't even grasp this. The 10th Amendment says if the authority isn't granted in this, it doesn't even exist for the US government, right? Which isn't to say the president can't have a security detail. That's not my point here. My point is that you look at stuff like this, and I'll link the whole video in here so you guys can go watch this video if you want.
Oh my goodness, people are chasing the car.
But everything is a scam. And so here's this protester. The right, of course, is like, oh, he was threatening, blah, blah, blah. And you go through video captured, shows the same protester with a sign saying, lock him up, right? And you go down and he charged in front of the vehicle. Everything is sensationalism in a TikTok world. He charged, right? He ran in front of the vehicle with a sign. So you hit the brakes, the guys run up and say, dude, get out of the way. Now, is it smart to run up in front of a vehicle? Not really. I mean, you're going to cause a little bit of disruption, but then again, that's the point of protesting. I'm not saying that the charges against Trump aren't a dog and pony show. Now, Trump is a criminal. He trampled on this Constitution right here. And there's lots of things that Trump, Biden, Hillary, Obama, and Bush could all be justifiably charged for in their crimes against the United States and the Constitution that they were supposed to be protecting. Santana, this old man here, who dressed up in a jumpsuit and had a sign, he has every right to do that. He was ultimately arrested on charges of disorderly conduct, resisting an officer without violence, and obstructing traffic. What I really get sick of is everything's a crime. No crime happened here, you guys. I don't care if you love Trump and you think that all these charges are just a conspiracy of the left, right? In reality, the left and the right are just playing this back and forth game to keep the dog and pony circus going so you're distracted and don't actually demand your rights and don't actually demand they follow this. Because this is actually all they're allowed to be doing right here. Whether it's activists, the left, the right, the black, the white, it doesn't matter. Everything we do is a crime. Now, this is a distinction I've seen in Mexico. Even though there's a lot of corruption, the police are out for bribes, and there's plenty of corruption. it's not so well organized. If you get in a scuffle with the cops and they take you off, usually, you pay bail and you just go on your way. I mean, here's my badass Mexican friend resisting arrest from like 5 dudes, right? And he's big and they're like having to work. And obviously they couldn't shoot him or anything. We had him out in a few hours because if we hadn't paid a bit to get him out, he probably would have had to stay in there like 48 hours and then they would have let him go. But that was it. In fact, they were the ones at fault here. In the US, everything has to be a crime. They have to win. The prosecutors, who are the biggest criminals in the courthouse and their judge friends, who are sending people like Leonard Peltier, like Jeff Winehouse, like Schaefer Cox, like Jim Hamilton, locking them away in prison for decades and lives, and destroying families and communities with for-profit policing, for-profit prisons, and propaganda that says, America, America, we're free, we protect you. And really all the propaganda is to just give them more power so they can strut around like idiots, pointing fingers at. Never ends. He walked out into the street with a sign. And these guys are all like, oh man, we got to put it on their show and their theater. Look at this idiot dancing in the street, chasing down this guy, trying to be threatening to this guy. These people, guys, they're just assholes. These are just asshole thugs. They couldn't make it in a real working world, so they got a job as being toughs. That's what the police are. It's what the courtroom security is. Most of the time, it's what private security is. Of course, maybe there's exceptions to this. If you're a super duper agent and you can't come here and look at this dude holding a sign, walking out at clearly a protest, is trying to make his statement, and know that that's not a real threat, and just kind of calmly walk up and be like, dude, you need to move, okay? Like normal people, like I would do, like you would do. If you can't look at this situation and identify that, you have no business being in your job because you're not capable of it. It's the same as these cops. If you can't look at someone with a cell phone and fear for your life and start shooting, right? If you can't prevent yourself because you're so roided up from throwing women on the ground, from telling your dog to bite him, like the video I showed you a few weeks ago. If you're not capable of that, you have no business being in a job like you're in because you're an idiot. And I always just find it interesting. There's always these movies and stuff where the Secret Service are these calm, gentle heroes saving children and women and presidential families. And in reality, every time we see a video of Secret Service people that I can think of, they're just a-holes. They're just strutting around like they're important and like they can tell people what to do. And they're nothing but 2-bit security guards. Well, more like 4-bit security guards because they get paid more. And I'm sick of everything being fake. I'm sick of our rights and the laws being ignored. And I'm tired of us always falling for this bait, this left, this right, this Republican, this Democrat, this Black Lives Matter versus Bundys, the natives versus Mexicans versus whites. We just need to care about each other and justice and be like, well, would I be okay if that was being done to my son, my brother, my niece, my wife? That's what we need to ask ourselves. And we need to be real about it. I just thought I'd throw this out there today because I've seen this going around and I was like, more crap, more theater, more circus. All right, you guys, peace.